Show. I'm Jordan Klepper, and he is Ronny Chieng.
Hey, I can speak for myself. Can you help me say this next part?
I definitely can. We got so much to talk about tonight. Joe Biden gets into a fight with Papua New Guinea. TikTok might be banned forever, and we find out why people are yelling at your car.
But first, Donald Trump is being gagged and tortured, so let's watch it, you perverts, in our ongoing coverage of America's most tremendously wanted.
The whole thing is a scam.
Today was the second day of Trump's hush money trial, and the first witness was the editor of the National Enquirer. He testified that to help Trump win the 2016 election, he would buy scandalous stories about Trump and then bury them. And what a great job he did. I can't think of a single Trump scandal. Before they could even get into that, they had to hold a separate hearing to find out if Trump violated a gag order when he threatened jurors and witnesses. And that hearing did not go well for Trump.
It was a pretty wild and intense hearing on Donald Trump's gag order. It all turned into a very heated exchange between the judge and Trump lawyer Todd Blanche, who argued that Trump is being very careful. Well, a clearly frustrated Judge Merchan responded, "Mr. Blanche, you're losing all credibility with this court."
Minutes after the hearing ended, Trump attacked the judge on social media, calling him a kangaroo court.
Wow. This guy is incapable of keeping his mouth shut for 2 minutes. Has Trump ever considered paying himself hush money? I mean, think about it. But this is a complicated issue about balancing rights. Basically, the prosecution's argument is that a juror has the right to feel safe while serving on Donald Trump's jury, while Donald Trump's argument is that that juror lives at 34 West 52nd Street, and maybe someone should pay that juror a visit and straighten him out. This gag order is serious. Trump might have to pay up to $1,000 per violation.
Yeah, $1,000, that's not gonna stop Trump from talking, okay? You gotta deal with this like any other tantrum. You gotta give Trump an iPad with Coco Melon on it and let him zone out.
Okay. Then he's gonna expect Coco Melon whenever he's upset.
Okay, well, we'll deal with that later, all right? We just need him to stop now. It's so noisy, I can't even think in this house.
Okay. This is not what Dr. Becky would want. Anyway, for more on the results of the gag order hearing, let's go to Desi Lydic. Desi, now that the gag order hearing is over, they can get back to focusing on the actual trial, right?
Unfortunately, no, because during the gag order hearing, Donald Trump made a jerk-off motion, so they needed a gag order hearing to see if that violated the gag order before they could get back to the first gag order.
Oh, but then after that, it's all set.
No, because during that gag order hearing, the judge heard Trump saying, "I'm Judge Peepee Head." And when the judge asked, "Did you just call me Judge Peepee Head?" Trump said he was just rehearsing for a community theater production where he plays a judge named Peepee Head. So then they had to have a hearing about that.
But once that's done, the actual case.
Yes, but no, because during that hearing, Trump made another jerk-off motion, but then he said it wasn't a jerk-off motion, so they need a quick hearing to determine how he jerks off. Then a hearing about whether he made the jerk-off motion, then Judge Peepee Head, then the first jerk-off hearing, then the gag order.
And then the actual case.
What case?
The hush money case.
Oh. Nobody remembers that. Keep up with the news cycle, Jordan. You're at the desk, for God's sake.
Yes, thank you, Desi. We'll check back in with you later.
Now, clearly, Trump thinks he's being treated unfairly in this trial, and he's not the only one. Something the gag order is just the start of the oppression Trump is facing.
Okay, Jesse, let me start with you. The prosecution says this is election fraud, and they say pure and simple. Is it?
I call it pure evil. So they've taken away his freedom of speech, and now they've taken away his freedom of movement. I mean, they had more allowances for Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
Oh, okay. That sounds wild, but I think Jesse Waters is a reasonable man because I was kicked in the head by a horse last week, so let's hear him out. How is Trump being treated worse than the mastermind of 9/11?
The guy needs exercise. He's usually golfing. And so you're going to put a man who's almost 80 sitting in a room like this on his butt for all that time? It's not healthy. He needs sunlight, and he needs activity. He needs to be walking around. He needs action. It's really cruel and unusual punishment to make a man do that.
Are we talking about Donald Trump or an old English sheepdog? You can't keep him cooped up all day. He needs time outside or he'll pee on the couch.
Look, we all know how Donald Trump loves exercise. Because of this trial, he's been morbidly obese for the last 40 years.
Yeah. I mean, though, would Trump even want fresh air and exercise? These actually sound like the punishments the judge would give Trump if he's convicted.
Yeah, I know. He's like, fresh air and exercise, just give me the death penalty. But listen, I'll give Jesse Waters the benefit of the doubt because I was also kicked in the head by the same horse. So let's let him continue.
This isn't lawfare, it's torture. They're making a 77-year-old man sit inside a dingy room for 8 hours straight, 4 days a week.
Wow. 8 hours a day, 4 days a week. It's literally torture. Or, as the rest of the world calls it, a job. A part-time job, to be fair.
I mean, this is the same guy who's asking to be president of the United States. I mean, that's got to be at least a 40-hour-a-week gig. I mean, is he going to get overtime?
Also, I thought Trump was supposed to be the young, vigorous candidate in the race. Now when he needs sympathy, suddenly he's a poor, elderly man crippled by the weight of his own body, pulverizing his bones into dust against the chair. You know what? Get that horse back out here because I want to give Jesse one more chance.
They're telling the entire world, all the wackos, this is where the former president's going to be at this date, at this time, surrounded by high-rise buildings.
Yes, it's very dangerous for people to know Trump's exact location, which is why he lives in a nondescript building with his name on the front.
The Trump campaign also tells us where he's going to be and exactly when. They're called Trump rallies, and it's how I know where to go to get yelled at.
And, you know, the worst part about him being on trial is that they're just treating him like he's some kind of criminal defendant.
Today, the former president of the United States, if he leaves court to go to the restroom, jail. If he calls the prosecutor corrupt, jail. If Trump moves or says anything, they scream jail.
If he mixes recycling, jail.
Yeah.
If he scratches his crotch, jail.
Yeah. He gets a high score on the SAT, Yale.
His favorite Batman, Christian Bale.
Yeah. His favorite vegetable, French fries. Yeah.
Definitely not kale.
No.
But he is going to jail.
He's going to go to jail.
He's going to go to jail. Meanwhile, with Donald Trump trapped in the courthouse, it was a perfect opportunity for Joe Biden to seize the initiative. And, hey, man, you got the campaign all to yourself, Mr. President. Time to press your advantage.
The Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea has angrily denied a false claim by President Biden that his uncle was eaten by cannibals during World War II.
He flew those single-engine planes as reconnaissance over war zones. He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there were a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea.
You're going to lose the election.
Yeah. Look. At some point, we all get to an age where we confuse our own life story with the plot of Indiana Jones. It happens. It happens.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the man's 80, okay? We all have grandparents who tell crazy stories. Like, my grandfather told me that he once wrestled a mountain lion with his bare hands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and my grandfather told me that he cheated on my grandmother through their entire marriage and had a second family. Get out of here, Grandpa, you goofball!
And can I just say, even if this story was true, Americans are in no position to criticize how anyone else eats, okay? These cannibals eat people. Yeah, well, you know what? We eat Subway sandwiches to lose weight. Right?
I mean, would a cannibal even eat people out of a wreckage? I mean, that's like their version of eating roadkill.
Yeah, I know. You want to eat like pasture-raised, grass-fed humans. And by the way, I know the Prime Minister was upset, understandably, but hey, if someone accused my country of being cannibals, I just run with it. Like, don't f with us or we'll put your dick on a Kaiser roll.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, Biden apologized to the Papua New Guinea Prime Minister by inviting him to a dinner with Pete Buttigieg, who will be served over rice with a balsamic reduction. So, yeah.
Right. Before we go, let's check back in with Desi Lydic down at the courthouse. Desi. Okay, so any updates on the gag order hearing?
Actually, yes. The Democrats are now asking for a new gag order.
What? What did Trump do this time?
No, they're asking the judge to issue a gag order on Joe Biden. It's really the only way to stop him telling Uncle Cannibal stories.
Wait, the Democrats are asking Biden to... But if Biden has a gag order, won't that affect his ability to campaign?
Yes. At this point, the DNC feels strongly that that's his best shot at winning. Otherwise, his strongest supporters will be cannibals, and that's a dwindling voting bloc for obvious reasons.
All right, Desi Lydic, everybody.